And I said, just kind of off the cuff, maybe Jayden Daniels is hurt. And they don't want to talk about that. You know, I mean, maybe they're trying to hide something. And I mean, the crew was like, maybe so. I hadn't thought about that, you know, because one thing is that, you know, Daniels, he got roughed up last week. And that hit on the 2-point conversion to the inside of his ankle, you could see in the moment very much affected him, and still playing off of emotion and adrenaline and, you know, being in the moment. Garrett Nussmeier, I believe, went out there for one snap, you know, and in like true starter fashion or true competitive competition fashion, you know, Daniels was like, get me back out. I'm going to lose my job. And he went back out there and he was kind of limping around and finished the game, right? But then you get off of it and you take some time and that thing starts to swell and there's some pain. And Brian Kelly yesterday, when speaking to media availability, which contractually he has to do, you know, per his contract, when asked about Jayden Daniels yesterday, he said he's going to be good. He's had a good week of practice and he'll play for us on Saturday.
He didn't say he'll start.
No, I mean, I think that means he'll start. You know, I mean, I don't think that comes into, but you can sense by what just the words that Kelly chooses when talking about Daniels. He's going to be good.
That's scary, Jordy.
As if he's saying, like, we've been dealing with some stuff all week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're going to have to shoot him up. You know what I mean? We're going to have to numb him. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be good. He's had a good week of practice, and he'll play for us on Saturday, right? So it's like, I mean, like, what do you mean he'll play for us on Saturday? He's your starting quarterback. Is that been in question? You know, like it's – and look, I'm not trying to get investigative here, but, I mean, you know, it's kind of – there's something there.
It's a little alarming.
You know what I mean? There's something to that. They're concerned about the health of their quarterback, right? I mean, like they've got some concern on what his status is, and that totally changes this game and flips it on its head. Like it really does.
I can't even imagine. Like what would happen?
Well, I mean, you take away your identity. I mean, you take away. It's a lot like we talked about with. And look, I don't want to go into catastrophe syndrome here. There's nothing that's been reported. There's nothing that this is speculative. You know, this is all just kind of speculation of what possibly could be going on, right? I mean, I told you where I'm coming from. You know, ESPN whipping around town looking for some local storylines because LSU's not talking to the media, and when Kelly has to speak to the media because of just, you know, the contractual rights of being in this game, it sounds as if there is a little concern about the status of his quarterback. That's what I'm reading into it. And if that's the case, then LSU is a totally different team in the sense of their identity flips a lot because Daniels has a lot of responsibility. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Hendon Hooker goes out for Tennessee. You lose a great player. You lose somebody that, you know, I mean, is a big-time playmaker. But moreover, you lose really the brains of your offense, the guy that knows what to look for, to how to read it, to make the play, to call it in the huddle, the snap. How many times this point in the season do you see a backup quarterback, a new quarterback go in there and you got 3 false start penalties, you know, back-to-back plays because the cadence difference. You know what I mean? Just calling for the ball back there is different. You know, I mean, there's a rhythm, there's a timing, there's a feel to that. And you just throw somebody else in there and everybody else is kind of, you know, like it's a little wonky. You know what I mean? It's just everybody's trying to kind of find their footing on playing someone different. And for what Daniels does, nobody else at LSU can do. Nobody on their roster that they have right now can do what Daniels does physically. You know, I mean, he's the best running back. He's the best running quarterback in the country. I mean, he's so dependent on that RPO of just who he is, that's how that play has become LSU's most dynamic, most impactful play, and it's all because of him. It's all because now over the last couple of games, Arkansas and Texas A&M, he struggled. He's turned it over in that play. But, I mean, like, let's look at the overall body of work. I mean, that play has been a difference maker for LSU. That simple, put it in the gut of the running back, read the defensive end. You've got somebody slipping out into the flat that you can throw it to, or he can run it. And it puts so much pressure on the defense where whichever one you choose, he's been so good at finding the other option or making the decision in the moment to run it or throw it that he's got the defenses playing on their heels. If you don't have that against Georgia and they can pin their ears back and go hit him or go hit Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, this tweet alone right here by LSU, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching this, or if you're listening on podcast, LSU Football tweeted out yesterday the final push to Atlanta with side-by-side pictures of Jayden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier. Does that mean that Nussmeier's going to play? No, but they don't have to do that. Like LSU controls the message. They don't have to put that out there. But after the comments that the head coach made yesterday when asked at the SEC press conference, what's the status of your quarterback? He's going to be good. He's had a good week of practice, and he'll play for us on Saturday. So he's going to be good means at some point he's not been good, and he's going to play for us on Saturday means within the walls of LSU, they've been curious on whether or not he's going to play for them on Saturday.
And the fact how he spoke about Josh Williams being back to 100% is like completely different than the way he spoke about Jayden Daniels.
Right.
When did they put that tweet out? Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
I don't like
They
that.
haven't tweeted. They haven't said. They haven't mentioned Garrett Nussmeier in quite some time.
Right, I know.
I mean, I just went
That's
through
what
their
I'm
media
saying.
all the way back to the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been any mention of Garrett Nussmeier, as there shouldn't be. Like, he's on the team, sure, but there's no real.
Right.
That's why that tweet to me is curious. They're almost
Why'd they
prepping
put that
you.
out? I know it is like they're prepping you.
Like they're letting you know, like if you're reading between the lines, like you can see the way that Brian Kelly described his injury and the way he talked about, he'll play for us. That didn't sound like he's 100% a go. That sounds like
No,
you
it
might see
doesn't.
both of them.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be Jayden Daniels taking the first snap, and they're gonna see how he plays in live game action. And if he's like hampered at all, you might see 13 trot out there, and that's what they're trying to, I guess, subliminal message send to you.
Yeah.